Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wal asr innal insana lafi khusr illa allazina amanu wa amilus salihati wa tawasaw bil haqqi wa tawasaw bis sabr. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. Welcome you all to this course. Just want to highlight some quick reminder and some important question everyone is sending in the group. So first of all is about the summary. Everyone is saying when we have to submit the summary. So you have the time until tonight, but for everyday summary, you can send your summary before the next class. So there will be no problem. And those who are saying their summary is not complete yet, they can send till tonight, but after that please try to send your summary before the next class. And I mean tomorrow when the next class will start, you need to send your summary before the next class. And the other question was sign up for the conference, and the main thing, many of you are not in the group of our WhatsApp group. I try to find out their WhatsApp, but I think they are on ETA. It's not possible for us to add them in ETA right now. So that's why we put our QR code at the front of the door. So you can scan this code at the end of this session, and please be the part of this group. This will be beneficial for you as well, because I am sending the lectures of the Ustad in this group, and also PowerPoints and some books. Yesterday, some books that Ustad suggest for you, he also sent me these books, and we sent in the group as well. So you can benefit from these things. The third thing is you all who are coming in this session, they need to sign up for the conference. Conference is the international conference in 3 languages, Urdu, English, and Persian. And also because you are participating in this course, and we have the awards and gifts for the students who will write the best summary with lucky draw. So you have to come in the conference to get your award. If you are not coming in the conference, then you could not claim for your award. And also if you want to bring your families or friends, you also can sign up for them. And if it's not possible for you to sign up, please write your name and hand it to me. I will sign up for you. And the third thing is, I think that, yes, please keep your phone on silent, because this is class for you, and we want that you make the atmosphere, we can feel this is our class. So anything else if you want to ask, I am here. Any question? Because there are many questions coming regarding books. Someone asked about the book, when we buy this book. Yes, we will let you know in the group regarding the books.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطاهرين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجه. اللهم كل وليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة، وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا، حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. As a humble gift to dear Imam of the time, we recite another salawat ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. So we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this blessing and opportunity that we have to continue some discussions about Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, and we hope that whatever we discuss would be satisfactory for the dear Imam of the time, inshallah. Yesterday we discussed about the authenticity of this teaching of Islam, and we insisted on this fact that believing in Imam Mahdi alayhi salam is some Islamic teaching, not Shia teaching or 12-er teaching. No, this is some Islamic teaching, and as you saw, it is exactly based on the verses in the Holy Quran and also the hadith that we have in both schools of thought, I mean Shia and Sunni. And no one is rejecting unless the person does not have enough knowledge about hadith or does have some other intentions and objectives. Otherwise, if someone is aware about the heritage that we have in Islam, about what we have in hadith, about what we have in commentary books, cannot reject the fact that this belief is part of Islam. This belief about Imam Mahdi alayhi salam is not removable. I shared some files with you. I hope inshallah you received them, as also it was mentioned here. Maybe some people were not in that group, I don't know, but I hope inshallah all of you received them. I just show you, because yesterday we couldn't show the slides. Now I just show you some parts which were related to what we said yesterday, just to let you know how to work with this. If you see, this is the PDF of the slides that we had them yesterday. So if you see, for example, this page of the PDF here, as it is written here, you see the name of the scholars and also the name of the books of Ahlus Sunnah that says hadith about Imam Mahdi alayhi salam is mutawatir. This page is only for which group? This is only for Shafi'is, as it is written here. Yes, you have the page complete now? Yes. So this is only about the Shafi'i scholars, as you see, from early time, from the beginning of the time of many of these books that we have nowadays. It is from the 4th century, and then later on other centuries up to this year. This year is very close to us. So this is not just something for the early time, this is not just something for recent times. No, this is something throughout the history of Islam. All of the ulama were mentioning that hadith about Imam Mahdi alayhi salam is mutawatir. Of course, as I said yesterday, hadith ulama, not all of the ulama, because the fields of ulama are different. Next page is about some of the ulama of Madhab Maliki. Next page is about some of the ulama of Hanbali. Next page for Hanafis. And these are some ulama that I couldn't find, actually, their school of thought. I couldn't find their madhab, so I added another page for them. They are in one of those schools, but I don't know. And then later, the name of the ulama who say that hadith about Imam Mahdi alayhi salam is sahih. We had mutawatir, we had sahih. Here you see ulama from different schools again together, like Maliki, Hanbali here, Shafi'i, Hanafi, all of them have been highlighted to be seen better. So these are again just few of ulama. The ulama are more than these, but just few names to see who says hadith is mutawatir. And according to what you see here, we have the documents or references documented. What do I mean? I mean that, for example, here, if we say that Shafi is like this say so, we have, I don't know which page is for Shafi is. I have to, yeah. We have a file prepared according to that list. To show you, I just skipped some of the pages because it needs more explanation. But let me start from here. If we say that, for example, Hafiz Abu Abdullah Muhammad ibn Yusuf al-Kanji in this book talks about the tawatur of hadith about Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, here you see that this is that book, Al-Bayan fi Akhbar Sahib al-Zaman, from Abi Abdullah Muhammad ibn Yusuf ibn Muhammad al-Qurashi al-Kanji al-Shafi'i, and then every detail about the book which is printed. So this is not some book that is not known or recognized by people. No, this is some printed book available in many libraries. And this is the information about the book, which publisher, which year, which place, which country. And then that's a specific page. You see the details about the book, and then that page of the book, and this is the sentence. And this is the scan, this is the picture, this is not something typed. To have more trust, you know, sometimes you want to give it to someone, and that person doesn't know whether this is your type or this is something from their own heritage. So it's better for trust. So those 4 files or 5 files, which are the scans of some books, though there is no title for them, but they are according to the list of the ulama that you have in that PDF. You have the PDF, the name of some ulama. According to that list, you have the scan of the books of those ulama to see the lines and the sentences and everything documented. This is some information about the files I shared with you. Also, there are 2 books shared again with you. The name is Al-Imam al-Mahdi 'inda Ahl al-Sunnah. As I said, because we all know about the belief of Shia ulama regarding Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, no need to spend lots of time for that. But about Sunnis, it's very important because many of us maybe do not know how much Sunnis talk about Imam Mahdi alayhi salam or believe in Imam Mahdi alayhi salam or narrate hadith about Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. So this is good for us to know, and also this is necessary for us to save. I have to explain something for you, but maybe later. This is something necessary for us to save. And number 3, this is something to be shared by others. So we have this responsibility to share it with others, to let them know about the idea of their ulama regarding Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. Because some extremist groups of Sunnis try to convince other Sunnis that whatever you hear is from Shia. But no, they have to know that this is from their own heritage. This is the idea of their own ulama. This is very important. This is the book that you have the file now. Volume 1 and Volume 2, both you have the files. This is the method of this book. That here you see the list of, in table of the content, if you open, you see the list of many important hadithi books of Sunnis. And this is according to the date. And then the pages which are related to the hadith about Imam Mahdi alayhi salam have been scanned here. So in each section you have a very short introduction about the book. For example, Al-Bad'u wa-Tarikh. What is this book? Who is the compiler? A very short introduction. And then you have the scan of the cover of that book and the pages which are related to Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. So These 2 pages were related to Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. Then next book, Al-Mu'jam al-Kabir from Tabarani, for example. What is this book? Who is the compiler? And then the cover of Al-Mu'jam and the pages related to Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. So this is the same as some portable library documented and scanned about the hadith from Sunni books about Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. This is very important. So you have, alhamdulillah, both volumes. Keep it and copy it, please, somewhere, and share it with others, inshallah. Yeah, sorry, before your question, there is another question. Sorry. Yes. Yes. Yes.
So is there any hadith in these books that we can use to prove that Imam Mahdi was born and he is here?
Yeah, thank you very much. Very important point. Inshallah, I explain a bit about that, but it needs more clarification, maybe inshallah in some other workshops. But here I share with you some points about this fact. But before we answer, let us hear the next question. Maybe they are related. Yes. How many? Oh, unfortunately, this is available in Arabic because the books of Sunnis were in Arabic. So the compiler, Aghay Mahdi Faqih Imani, has compiled the book in Arabic as well.
That was my question because you mentioned my country, the Arab.
No, you know, we have to have it. The main part of the book is the quotation from Sunni scholars. And because the main book was in Arabic, the quotation has to be in Arabic to show that. So that part is just the copy of Sunni books. You need the translation of some of the pages which are from the compiler or the author. Yeah, that part can be translated. Inshallah, later I explain to you how we can benefit from this book. But still, because it shows the pages of those main books, original books, we have to have the file. I don't want you to buy the hard copy, but keep the file with you. The author, Aghay Mahdi Faqih Imani. Mahdi Faqih Imani. Yeah, passed away some years ago. Yeah, please.
Yeah, excuse me, yesterday I wanted to ask a question, but it was already raised. About, you said that in the Quran we have Batini and Zahiri. Then what part of the Batini that shows the vessel that related, that tell us about Imam Mahdi?
You need some of the verses about the batin related to Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. Yes. So for that, I give you just one example. Then you can imagine how this works to have access to the batin. And then inshallah later, through some of those books, you can have access to many contents like this. But this is just one example. If you refer to the last verse of Surah Al-Mulk, Surah Al-Mulk you all know. The last verse says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم قل أرأيتم إن أصبح ماؤكم غورا فمن يأتيكم بماء معين. This talks about one of the great ni'mah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that is some fresh water, healthy water. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this verse, after some other warnings at the end, says that if someday this water is not accessible for you, who can solve your problem? Who can give you this water? Just to remind people about this blessing which is given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have water from Allah, and if Allah removes it from our lives, then there is no one to give us this. This is from Allah. And we all have to go back to Allah to receive it again. Is it clear? So this is the meaning of this verse. So Zahir talks about water. Then we have hadith from Imam Baqir alayhi salam. Imam Baqir alayhi salam says that in addition to this meaning, this ayah says, قُلْ أَرَأَيْتُمْ إِنْ أَصْبَحَ إِمَامُكُمْ غَائِبًا فَمَنْ يَأْتِكُمْ بِإِمَامٍ جَدِيدٍ. This ayah says that if someday you see that there is no physical access to your imam, you don't have your imam accessible physically, it is the time of occultation of your imam, then who can give you access to imam, or who can bring or introduce some new imam for you to replace that one? Is it possible for us to have election for imam? Or to, I don't know, there is no solution. Rather than referring back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, turning back, doing repentance, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness, and then to receive it again from Allah. There is no other way. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through this ayah talks about the occultation of Imam alayhi salam. If we are not grateful to this ni'mah of God, and if we don't appreciate enough, but it is not written in Zahir. There is no discussion about Imam in the Zahir of ayah. Whoever recites this ayah understands something about water, but not about Imam. But through the hadith, we realize that one of the meanings of this ayah is about Imam.
How would we realize it through the hadith that the first hadith talks about Imam Mahdi? Did the flowing water actually refers to Imam Mahdi?
This ayah, قُلْ أَرَأَيْتُمْ إِنْ أَصْبَحَ إِمَامُكُمْ غَائِبًا قُلْ أَرَأَيْتُمْ إِنْ أَصْبَحَ مَاؤُكُمْ غَوْرًا will become إِمَامُكُمْ غَائِبًا in the translation or explanation of Imam Baqir alayhi salam, because he knows the batini meaning. So what does it mean? It means that does it mean that, for example, the apparent part does not have real meaning? No. It doesn't mean that there is no apparent part, or it is not authentic, or it is not meant. No. It means that in addition to that meaning, which is understood by all people, which is discovered, which is understandable, because it is the matter of language. Whoever knows Arabic can understand that apparent part. In addition to that, there is another point here, which is not discoverable for all people. Just few people knew that point. الراسخون في العلم. And through them, we had access to this fact. Yeah. So, the word Imam is not in this ayah, in Zahir of this ayah, but it is available in Batin of this ayah.
So not everyone can have access to the Batin.
Exactly.
So how
Just through Ahlul Bayt we can have access to Batin. Yesterday we discussed that in Surah Al-Imran we have this instruction from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you want to have access to Ta'wil, then Allah and Ar-Rasikhuna fil Ilm. No other way. Allah Ar-Rasikhuna fil Ilm. We don't have access to Allah in this way to hear something, so we have to refer to Ar-Rasikhuna fil Ilm. This is the only way possible for us. Yeah. So the Ta'wil, is like this: having some point about some verse, then after you hear it from the Imam, when you refer again to that verse, if you recite it again, you can see that it's very much touchable, it's very much fresh, available. But before Imam alayhi salam tells you anything about that point, you cannot find it. So this is the role of Imam, to disclose it, to reveal it, actually. So this is about Ta'wil. About the point you mentioned, very, very fast, if I want to say something. I have to say that from our side, we all know that there is only one Savior. There is only one Mahdi alayhi salam. Yes? No doubt. So maybe others do not know. Maybe they think that we are talking about different individuals. But at least we know that there is only one Savior, and that Savior is Mahdi alayhi salam. Sometimes it's not possible, or at least it is not necessary to prove to others that the one you talk about is the one that we also talk about. Sometimes because of different reasons, it's not possible. No problem. We don't want to go to the depth of this discussion to prove to them that don't think that you have another one. The one you say is exactly the one that we say. For example, in order to have that conclusion, we have to prove to them that, okay, don't trust some of your hadiths. They are fabricated, and there is distortion, there is this, there is that, in order to let them think about what we say, okay? But no need for that at all. And it's not sometimes possible. They cannot hear it from us. They cannot agree with us. It's important to leave this type of unnecessary discussions and just focus on something which is very important. To say that we all believe in Al-Mahdi. If there is any difference, let him come, and then we all understand. You know? How to do that, what to say, how to say, of course it depends. You know better. Sometimes it is according to the audience, sometimes it is according to the condition. So it differs from time to time, from place to place, from person to person. So we have to check how to say this, but this is important. This is our policy, to focus on commonalities and to remove differences if it is not necessary. If someone says that Mahdi is Isa, yes, we have to discuss that. No, Mahdi is someone, Isa is someone else, but they are together. They cooperate. They work together for the same goal. But if someone says, according to you, Mahdi is Mahdi bin Hassan, but according to Sunnis, Mahdi is Mahdi bin Abdullah, something like this. No need to discuss very deeply and scholarly, you know. It's important that Mahdi is from the progeny of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, from the children of Lady Fatima Zahra salamun alayha, because to this much we have hadith from Sunnis even, so no doubt about it. And then later, when you have more commonalities, you have other discussions as well, then the ground will be more ready for some details. You know, then step by step, maybe we can explain and clarify many of these issues. But at the beginning, we should not try to convince them about what we say, and to say to them that you also say the same, but you don't know. You make mistake. No, we want to say that we're all talking about the same entity and individual. This is very brief. And also about the birth of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. Yesterday also, after the discussion, I shared with some of the sisters something about this birth. I share it with you, but again, very fast. I hope inshallah you forgive me. Later we have to find some time to discuss this type of important issues, but now we don't have it actually. We don't have that time. Please recite a salawat. We say that Imam Mahdi alayhi salam is born, yes? What about Sunnis? This is point number 1. Please. Note that all of the Sunnis are not the same in this in this matter. We have two groups among Sunnis about the birth of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. About the birth. One group says exactly what we say. Same. They also believe in the birth of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. Of course, they are minorities. We don't want to say that they are majorities or many available everywhere. No. But it's important to know that some groups of Sunnis also believe in the birth of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. This is very important. Like whom? Like some of the Sufi Sunnis. You know some of the Sufis, especially in some areas like Africa and like some other countries, like Indonesia. There are some groups of Sunnis who are Sufis. According to their ideology, their teachings, some of them also believe that there must be some hujjah of God living now. And that person is from the progeny of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then whatever they say, you see that this is applied on Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. So for them also, Imam Mahdi is alive. Though nowadays there are some extremist groups of Sunnis, if they find some book saying that Imam Mahdi is born, they try to say, those extremists try to say that this is not some pure Sunni book. Though it is some Sunni book written by a Sunni scholar, but because it is not in favor of some extremist groups, they try to say that no, this is not from Sunni background actually. Maybe that person was Shia but was doing taqiyya. Or maybe this is attributed to that alim. It is not done by that alim. Something like this. They try to escape. So don't be surprised if you see that there is some book written by some Sunni, but another Sunni says that no, this is not for Sunnis. It's because of some groups. So one group of Sunnis, the minority, they say the same as what we say. Another group, they say that Imam Mahdi will be born. Yes? Not yet. For that group, we have some question. What Sunnis say about the reappearance of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam? If we ask them that when Imam Mahdi comes, they say when? In the future or present or it was in the past? Definitely they say in the future, yes? So for them also the time of Dhuhr is in the future. Clear? So no doubt, no one you can find to say that Imam Mahdi appeared, for example, 2 centuries ago and everything finished. You don't know, for example. No, we don't have such a Muslim. So if it is timeline and if we are here present, the time of Zuhur is somewhere here in the future. Yeah? It is future. But where in the future? According to Sunnis, do they have any specific time, any exact moment to tell people? No. If we ask them when, they say Allah knows. Yes? So, can it be here? Possible. Can it be here? Can it be here? Possible. Every moment is possible. Yeah? Now, what they say about the birth of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam? They say that according to, for example, narrations, anything, Imam Mahdi is at the age of 30, 40 when he appears or reappears. So, when is the birth of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam? The birth should be 30 or 40 years before the time of Zuhur. Clear? Okay. Now, we have this question. Do we know the distance between this moment and the reappearance of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam? No. Is it possible that we have less than 30 years, 40 years to that moment? Yes. If it is possible to be closer to that moment from 40, 30 years, this means that Imam Mahdi must be born, must be alive now. Because according to them also, Imam Mahdi should be born 30, 40 years before to raise and to grow up, to be able to be at that age at the time of Zuhur. If I don't know the distance between my time and the time of Zuhur, it means that I don't know whether Imam Mahdi is born or not yet. So what is the difference? You may say that, okay, again, the same result, the same no guarantee for the birth of Imam Mahdi al-Salam. No, it is very much different from the time that we say that definitely Imam Mahdi is not born. So, whether we believe in the evidences that we have about the birth of Imam Mahdi al-Salam in history, in kalam, in hadith or not, if we believe in those narrations and evidences, according to them, we have to say that Imam Mahdi is alive now. Because there are evidences, yes? So, either we go for those evidences and we believe in the birth, or, so I don't know, I pressed something or, maybe because it is some secret I have to tell you with no mind. So, either we believe in those evidences and the result is that whether Shia or Sunni, I have to agree with those who say that Imam Mahdi is alive now. Or if I don't believe in those evidences, I cannot say that Imam Mahdi is not alive. The most that I can say is to say that I don't know whether Imam Mahdi is alive or not yet. Imam Mahdi is born or not yet. Why? Because I don't know my distance to the time of Zuhur. If the distance is more than 40 years, so still we have time for the birth of Imam Mahdi. If the distance is less than 30, 40, so Imam Mahdi must be alive now. Do I know? No, I don't have that knowledge. So I have to keep silent about what? About saying something against the birth. I mean, I cannot judge. I cannot say something very concrete, very certain about the birth of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, that Imam Mahdi is not born yet, because I don't know the time of Zuhur. Is it clear? But how to say that? We don't want to for example, create some clash or any problem, anything. No, in a very respectful manner, we just want them to think about their own hadith, their own idea about the time of Zuhur, their own beliefs about Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, to share with them this fact that there is no way to say that Imam Mahdi is not born. And this is some great change in the life of some Sunni, to believe in possibility and probability of the life of Imam Mahdi even. You know, sometimes we say that Imam is alive. Sometimes some Sunni, imagine, some Sunni is not sure about the life, but at least he thinks about the possibility of that. But this is much better than sometime that someone says that there is no Imam, there is no Hujjah, and he will come or he will be born. So there are some other things that I should add, but because of time, with your permission, I leave them. This was something about the last session and also some of the questions or maybe related discussions. Now we want to start something very brief again about Ma'rifatul Imam. Sorry, I repeat that there is no time, because as I explained for you yesterday, imagine that you want to summarize Bihar al-Anwar in 114 or 10 different volumes in not one volume, in 20 pages, something like this. So this is somehow like committing suicide, or it's not possible. I'm trying my best to just summarize the discussions, but if I look at every corner of the discussion, there are some points, but I cannot open. Inshallah, maybe later you follow the discussion, inshallah.
You said Sufi believes like us that Imam is alive and will have the Sufi. Which of the caste is that who says he'll come 30, 40 years before and then his birth will be 30, 40? So which caste?
Sunnis, of course, they believe that Imam Mahdi will be at the age of 30 or 40.
Which caste? Like Shafi'i?
No, all of them, no difference, yeah. Sunnis in general.
But you said Sufi believes
Yeah, among those four schools, there are some people like Sufis, because Sufis also are not just from one group. There are Sufis in different madhab of Ahlul Sunnah. So among those four schools, there are some minorities saying the same as us. There are some majorities saying that there is no birth yet. But we explain to them that even according to your own standard and your own ideology about the Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, we cannot say that there is no birth yet. We have to say that we don't know there was birth or no. At least to this much. Yes. All right, maybe it is interesting for you to know, I just add this point, that we have some Sunnis, and alhamdulillah, they had this chance to meet Imam Mahdi alayhi salam in Ghaibah. Yeah. But, you know, what happens after that? What?
They had the chance to meet Imam Mahdi.
Yes.
After death,
In the time of Ghaibah. But if someone meets Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, what happens? And then after that, it's not easy to prove that that person was a Sunni or didn't believe in Imam Mahdi alayhi salam that time at all, or something like that. Because from now, this person is believing in Imam Mahdi alayhi salam in a different way. Not just the birth of Imam Mahdi. No, he is believing by yaqeen in Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. You know, this is one of the impacts of meeting Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, that whatever we know will become something the same as yaqeen for us. It's very much different now. So I just wanted to say that not only believing in the birth, but even we had some Sunnis, alhamdulillah, they had the chance and tawfiq to meet Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. But you know, of course, very rarely this happens in the time of occultation, even for Shia. For all people, the meeting is not just for Shia or for Muslims. The meeting is according to the real need of people for the guidance. So sometimes even some kafir may meet Imam Mahdi alayhi salam to receive the guidance. So this is not believing in Islam or believing in A'imma alayhimu salam is not some condition for having this opportunity of visiting the Imam of the time. No, Imam is responsible for the guidance of the people. So if someone is really in need of guidance, if Allah knows that this is the only way for him to receive the guidance, then Imam alayhi salam will meet that person. But it is some discussion under the title of occultation. Inshallah, if we get time, we discuss it. All right. Please recite a salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa atil. I think because maybe tea is, I don't know, there is tea today also. So if you agree, maybe you can have your tea. Then later, inshallah, we discuss about Ma'rifatul Imam, ببركة of salawat ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. We want to talk a bit about Ma'rifatul Imam, but again, this Ma'rifatul Imam is a very long story and very important and a strategic discussions, but we have just maybe 30-40 minutes, something like this. So please, you yourself have to continue some studies about Ma'rifatul Imam. This is some of the bases, some of the principles. Very, very important discussion. About Ma'rifatul Imam, there are different ways to address that and to talk about that. But let's start from this very famous narration from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. And you all know it, alhamdulillah, man mata walam ya'rif imam zamanihi mata mitatan jahiliyatan. This hadith is from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, as I said, narrated by Shia and Sunni both. And it is not just one type of wording for that. This is not just one version. There are different narrations as such. من لم يعرف إمام زمانه مات ميتة جاهلية من مات بغير إمام مات ميتة جاهلية من مات ليلة وليس في عنقه بيعة إمام مات ميتة جاهلية من مات ولا إمام له مات ميتة جاهلية من مات ولا بيعة عليه مات ميتة جاهلية من مات ولا طاعة عليه من مات ولم يعرف إمام زمانه من مات ولم يعرف إمام زمانه with some additions. Again another page. من مات وليس عليه إمام جامع من مات وليس عليه إمام من مات وليس عليه إمام مات من مات وليس عليه طاعة مات من مات وليس في عنقه بيعة مات من مات وليس لإمام جماعة عليه طاعة من مات وليس له إمام فميتته ميتة جاهلية. You see, there are different sentences, but with the same content and with the same message. Usually all of them start with the word man, and except one, all end with mitatan jahiliya. Just one of them says in sha'a yahudiyan wa in sha'a nasraniya. So we have lots of narrations from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi about this fact, that we have to know the Imam of the age. So this shows the importance of that matter. Otherwise, there was no need to have this many of narrations from Rasulullah about this fact. Let's review some of the points about this hadith. For your information, this hadith is narrated by Shia and Sunni both. Of course, in different types of the hadith, in different wordings. Maybe this is the most famous one in Shia books, but with some changes, maybe there are some other versions available in Sunni books. But in general, this Ma'rifatul Imam is something known by both groups. And this is mutawatir ma'nawi. For those who study in Hausa, you know we have two types of tawatur, lafzi and ma'nawi. This is mutawatir ma'nawi. Again, if you remember yesterday, we said that if something is at the level of tawatur, there is no way to reject that, to deny that. So no one denies this. But there are different interpretations given by different groups. No one denies that we have to know the Imam. But who is the Imam? Different ideas, different interpretations. There are some ideas like this. Imam is the Quran. We have to know the Quran. Or Imam is Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi himself. Or Imam means Imam al-Jama'ah, Imam al-Jum'ah. Don't look for some special Imam. No, Imam. There are different opinions, but you know, we have to see whether that is applied to the emphasis which is given which are given by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam about this hadith and other facts around this hadith or not. Let's review some of the points from our own view. First of all, the first word is man. Man is very general, very inclusive. Man in Arabic means whoever. Includes men and women, includes, I don't know, the people at the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and also next generations, includes the people inside Medina, outside Medina. So no division in people, in man. Man includes all. So this hadith is for all. Please note that this hadith includes even mu'mineen, practicing Muslims. What do I mean? Sometimes about some hadiths like this, when we hear, we say that, oh, this is about those people who are not good people, who don't believe in Aimma alayhimus salam, or who don't do their job properly. For example, they don't practice Islam. But no, this hadith is not just for those people. This is some real warning even for me as a sheikh. Man mata wa lam ya'rif, whoever dies, even if that person is some sheikh or mujtahid even, if someone dies without knowing the imam of his own time, that death is the death of jahiliyyah, whether that person was practicing hijab or not, practicing salat, saum, homes, everything or not. Whoever dies without this knowledge, the death will be the death of jahiliyyah. So this is also about me, you, everyone. We have to think whether we have knowledge about, we have ma'rifah about Imam Mahdi alayhi salam or not. I have to skip. Point number 2, about Imam Zamanihi. Imam Zamanihi means the Imam of his own or her own time, yes, of that age, not before that. For example, this hadith doesn't say that you have to know the Imam. No, you have to know the Imam of your own time. And this is different now. So for me, who is living at the time of the 12th Imam, this hadith talks about ma'rifah of the 12th Imam. I cannot say on the judgment, I cannot say, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we had 12 Imams. I knew 11 of them properly, but I didn't know the last one, just that. I didn't have enough ma'rifah about the last one. If I am living at the time of the last one, according to this hadith, I have to know the last Imam to be saved from ignorance. Is it clear? So according to this hadith, if someone says, you know, I know Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and I'm ready to sacrifice my life for Imam Hussein alayhi salam. I'm trying my best for Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam. I do everything for Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, for example. But just this ma'rifah of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam is missing in my life. If you look at my life, there is nothing about Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. I don't know Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. If someone is ready to sacrifice the life for Imam Hussein alayhi salam, but not knowing the Imam of his own or her own time, that person also will have the ignorant death. The focal point of this hadith is ma'rifah of the Imam of the time, not ma'rifatul Imam in general. No. Ma'rifah of the Imam of the time. So again, I skip. Point number 3. Mitatan Jahiliyyah means what? Because at the end of all of the hadith like this, we had Mitatan Jahiliyyah. So what does it mean? If someone dies with the death of Jahiliyyah, what does it mean? We can have two types of meanings or interpretation for this. One of them can be according to history, and you know, the era before Islam was called the era of Jahiliyyah. So, mitatan Jahiliyyah here can mean that if someone dies with no ma'rifah of the Imam of the time, as if that person had died before the time of Islam. So we don't call that person proper or true Muslim because the time of the death was before the time of Islam. Is it clear? If someone dies 10 years before the emergence of Islam or revelation of Islam, before Ba'atha of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that person is not follower of the religion of Islam. This particular religion that we say. So that person cannot be some follower of Islam. There is no Islam yet before the time of Islam. So hadith says that with no ma'rifah of the Imam of the time, no one should expect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to treat him as some proper Muslim, as if that person had died before the time of Islam. This is according to history. Of course, in parentheses, I don't want to judge, we don't want to say anything about other groups of Muslims or ourselves. No, this is something done by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But in general, according to hadith we are talking now. We want to take some lessons from the hadith. Otherwise, we don't want to say that this group is not Muslim, that group is a Muslim. No, this is not what we are going to do here. The second way to have interpretation about mitatan jahiliyyah is referring to hadith. As we said, this hadith was said by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, some real warning said by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Many questions for many Muslims who hear that. Now, if someone has some question after Rasulullah about the meaning of this, that person refers to the knowledgeable person at his time. Those who were not Shia, I'm not talking about them, but those who were Shia, if they had any question, they used to refer to A'imma alayhimus salam to ask their questions. So you see, in next generations, there were some people referring to the Imam of the time, their own Imams, to ask about the meaning of this narration of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That we heard that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said, "Man mata wa lam ya'rif imam zamanihi mata mitatan jahiliyyah." What does it mean? Then we have some hadith from Ahlul Bayt interpreting, explaining the meaning of this hadith of Rasulullah. In those narrations, you see three concepts in the meaning of Jahiliyyah: disbelief, kufr, being astray, dhalala, and hypocrisy, nifaq. Look at this narration. This is from Imam Baqir alayhi salam. This is one of the examples that we have some narrations explaining the meaning of previous narration. Imam Baqir alayhi salam explains, Man mata la ya'rifu imamahu, if someone dies with no ma'rifah about his imam, mata mitata jahiliyyat kufrin wa nifaqin wa dhalal. He will die the death of jahiliyyah, of what? Of kufr, nifaq, dhalal. So again, we repeat that sentence we said according to the first meaning, historical meaning. In historical meaning, we said that with no ma'rifah of the Imam, the death was not some Islamic death, was the death before the time of Islam. Now again, if we consider these factors here or concepts here, we should say that even according to hadith, if someone dies with no ma'rifah of the time, of the Imam of the time, the death is not some proper Islamic death. It is the death of munafiq, the death of kafir, the death of dhal, the one who is not on the right path. So again, this is not some Islamic death, some Islamic end for the life. So in both ways, historically or according to hadith, the death of Jahiliyyah means any other type of death, not Islamic death, not good end. Husnul Aqibah, we all pray for Husnul Aqibah. This is exactly against Husnul Aqibah. So again, this is some real warning that if someone dies with no ma'rifah, he will face such a problem. So it's why we all have to think about Ma'rifatul Imam. We all have to spend time for Ma'rifatul Imam. We all have to take courses, study books, ask our questions to get this knowledge, to gain this Ma'rifah.
Is it for the Muslims or everyone generally?
No, it is for everyone generally, but of course we have different layers in the addresses of these type of things because some people do not know that they are meant.
For example, the Christians now.
So let me ask you this question. Imam Mahdi is Imam for whom? For all. So if he is Imam for all, it means that all are ma'mum for him. But maybe they do not know that they are ma'mum for him. So they are not coming forward. They are not getting knowledge about their Imam. They are not trying to consider the ma'rifah of their Imam, or because they don't know that they have this relation. But Imam Mahdi knows, and we also all know that Imam is for all, not for just a group of people. But how to let other people know about this fact? This is something different, not to be discussed now. Inshallah, later maybe we should discuss it. But in general, Imam is for all, so Ma'rifatul Imam is needed for all. But maybe because of some ignorance, because of some bad condition, because of some limitation of access, maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for example, forgives some people who do not have this Ma'rifah due to some problems and shortages. That is another discussion. But for Muslims, we say for all Muslims because they believe in Rasulullah and this is said by Rasulullah. So for them, this must be something very serious. They have to answer this for themselves at least, that who is the Imam meant by Rasulullah here? Can I be convinced to hear that Imam means Kitabullah? Here Rasulullah meant that go and know the Quran. Some Muslim should ask himself whether in this sentence Rasulullah meant the Quran or himself or Imam al-Jama'ah, Imam al-Jum'ah or someone else. Again, we don't want to enter this field and discuss it. But in general, this is something heard by Muslims, and all individuals in Islam should answer this question: who is the Imam? They have to have something before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to answer Allah if there is any question about this. Now, let's focus on ourselves as the 12ers. We are not talking about others. As 12ers, we all believe that this Imam in this hadith is Ma'soom Imam, infallible Imam, yes? And we all know that in all eras and generations after Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, there has been always one person as the successor, infallible successor of Rasulullah, as the Imam of the era, of the time. And that person in our time is Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. So for us it's very clear. This hadith talks about Ma'rifatul Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam. So first of all, as I said, we have to be careful about Ma'rifatul Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, in addition to Ma'rifah about other previous Imams. Sometimes we have Ma'rifah about some previous Imams, but we don't have enough Ma'rifah or proper Ma'rifah about Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. You know, if I imagine that there is a crowd of people in some majlis somewhere, if I request them, if I give them some blank sheets, if I request them to write down whatever you know about Imam Hussein alayhi salam, usually they know something. Usually for some lines, for some sentences, they can write something. But if I ask them, write whatever you know about Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. Imam Mahdi is the Imam of the time. So can they write the same size or the same, I don't know, content, anything? So this is some sign for us to remember that we don't have enough ma'rifah about Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. This is number one. Number two, what type of ma'rifah is meant here? Because the main focus of this sentence is about ma'rifah. But what is ma'rifah? Now we have this question. Is it something the same as name, parents' name, the place of the birth, date of the birth? Because this is some type of information about someone. Sometimes when we say knowing Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, this comes to mind that, okay, I know Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. I know that his name is the name as Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. I know that his very famous title or epithet is Al-Mahdi. I know that he was born in Samirra. The father is Imam Askari alayhi salam, mother Hazrat Najis. So I know that. This is some type of information or ma'rifah or knowledge. This is the ma'rifah which was meant by Rasulullah or not. To know this much, for example, saves us from ignorant death. If this much was enough to be saved from ignorant death, someone like Ubaidullah, Yazid, Muawiyah, I don't know, all of those enemies against Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, they also could be saved. But we see that even the enemies of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam usually knew this much about the Imam of the time. But this was not something saving them. No, this is not meant here. We have to go to another layer for ma'rifah, a deeper layer of ma'rifah. What is that? Sometimes you know someone by the name or through the name. Sometimes you know someone through the features. Which one is more important? Which one is effective in your life? Exactly. For example, I suffer from toothache. I need some dentist. What do I need to know about that dentist? The name? Imagine that I'm suffering and someone tells me, he's Ali. This person is Ali. If he repeats 100 times, what's the relation between Ali and my pain? But if instead of 100 times Ali, Ali, just one time, he tells me that he is dentist, this is enough for me now. I know whom to refer, I know how to benefit, I know how to ask my questions, how to relate myself. But if they repeat, okay, he is 60 years old. No, he was born in Tehran. He was doing this, that. He has 4 children. The name of the children, the name of the wife, everything. Nothing happens in my life. Sometimes we repeat this mistake if we want to talk about A'immah for others. They need to know something important about A'immah to understand how to relate to these people, how to solve their problems with these people. But we just give them some information about some secondary issues of the lives of A'immah alayhimus salam. So this is not the ma'rifah which is meant. We have to know the position, the imamah, not the one who is the imam with the apparent, for example, I don't know, features. Like what? Like sometimes, for example, you want to uh, meet someone, they tell you that this person is with this name, this quality, this everything about the appearance. But you don't know about his knowledge, you don't know about his role, you don't know anything. But sometimes they give you a piece of necessary information about the appearance, but the rest of the information is about the position, the role, the talent, the skill, everything. So you know what to do now. If you refer to our text about A'imma alayhimus salam, just to check what we are saying now. For example, you have the ziyarats of imams. In ziyarats of the imams, maybe we have both type of information. We have something about the names, other things. Also, we have something about the qualities and positions. But how much that, how much this? You don't say, Assalamu alayka ya Abu Abdullah, and then Assalamu alayka ya Hussein, Assalamu alayka ya Ibn Ali, Ibn Fatima. You don't continue this for long time. You just have some few sentences about name and parents and something like this. Though that is also different about A'imma alayhim salam, because A'imma of imams or imams, infallibles, parents, fathers of the imams, are different from ordinary parents. So it gives us some information about the position of imams. I should explain it later, inshallah. But in general, even if we don't want to consider the difference between A'imma alayhim salam, if they are the parents, with other parents, how many sentences do you have about the parents of the imams in ziyarats? Few sentences. But then immediately you jump to the qualities, characteristics, features, abilities, roles, everything. Assalamu alayka ya Thar Allah wa ibn Tharih. What does it mean, Thar Allah? Wal witr al mawtur. Ziyara jama'a kabira. How many sentences about the roles of the imams? Everything is about the position of the imams. Ziyarat al-Yasin, about Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. At the beginning you say, Assalamu alayka ya da'i Allahi wa rabbani ya ayatih. No name, no parent's name, nothing as such. Why? Because for me, as some follower, this is some ma'rifah that I need to know who is the imam, who is the position, what is the position of the imam, what is the role of the imam in my life. You know what happens when we know the role and the goal and the position, everything? Now, again, these are some examples, then inshallah I conclude the discussion here. You know, many people go to ziyarah of Ma'asumin alayhim salam because of some haja, some need, some prayer, something. Usually we remember Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam when any problem happens, a special problem, not tiny problems. Again, we don't remember Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. If it is very serious, if it is very hard, then they remember Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. Imagine that someone had gone to ziyarah of Imam Rida alayhi salam for some niyyah, and then alhamdulillah that person was given the answer. My father was sick very seriously, and alhamdulillah I got shifa from Imam Rida alayhi salam when I went Mashhad to pray for my father. Imagine that this happens in my life. From that moment, what happens? I know that Imam Rida alayhi salam is able to treat or cure this type of problems and illnesses. So this is something important for me for the rest of my life. Whenever I face such a problem, I remember Imam Rida alayhi salam. Or whenever I see someone suffering from that problem, I encourage that person to go for ziyarah of Imam Rida alayhi salam. But is it the only thing that Imam Rida alayhi salam can do in my life? No. But why I don't refer to Imam Rida alayhi salam for other things? Because I don't have that knowledge about the role of Imam in other things. I just know this much about the Imam. The more I know, the more I benefit. The more I know, the more I recommend others to refer to Imam alayhi salam. The more I know, the more I introduce Imam Rida alayhi salam to others. I don't know, so I don't benefit. I don't let others also benefit. I cannot be some link for others to Imam Rida alayhi salam to benefit. Another example. Imagine that, and this is something real, happens sometimes. One salesperson said that once I was at a store and one child came, gave me some coin and said, give me pofak. I got the coin, I got him or her, I don't know, pofak, and then that person left. I opened my hand, I saw that coin. That was golden coin. Seke Bahar Azadi. You know, Seke Bahar Azadi. That child wanted pofak in return of Seke Bahar Azadi. Why this happens? We all know why. Because that child doesn't know about the value of this coin. That child is ready to have this transaction, which is not acceptable for some sane person, mature person. You know, it's a very great loss in our view. But for that child, no. Now imagine, I don't want to compare something material with the Imams, but imagine that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us Imams more valuable than gold. But we don't know the value of this personality. We know how much, we know that, oh, I saw Imam Rida alayhi salam answered ahkam question of that person. Imam Rida knows ahkam. So if I have access to Imam Rida alayhi salam, I can ask him about my wuzu, my prayer. Definitely Imam Rida alayhi salam knows ahkam. But it is not the only possible service of Imam Rida alayhi salam for my life. This is not the only way that I can benefit from Imam Rida alayhi salam. How much I know about Imam Rida alayhi salam has some direct influence of the way that I try to benefit from Imam Rida alayhi salam. If we work on this, then we realize the value of Imam in some possible level. But if we don't work for this, if we just suffice to that much, then we don't know anything about the Imams. And then there is a question for us, why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered us to follow Imams? Why? We have reason, we have people around us, we can consult with them, we can have some mashwara. Why following Imams? You know, this question is some sign for you to understand that this person doesn't know the Imam. Doesn't know the Imam. So, please, for ourselves and also for others, we have to invest here. It's wrong if we invest there. How many questions about the marriage of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam? How many questions about the children of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam? How many questions about the place of the life of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam in occultation? How many questions about the appearance of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam? They all go there. We don't need them actually. They don't have any influence and impact in our lives. We have to invest here. Now, I have to be faster, sorry. Who can introduce Imam to us? We want to have ma'rifah, proper ma'rifah. the one which is meant by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. Okay, now we need some source. What is the source of Ma'rifatul Imam? Who can introduce Imam to us? We say the one who knows the Imam properly can introduce the Imam properly. Do you agree? So, who knows the Imam properly? Again, we say the one who is at the level of Imamah and above. If someone is below that level, that person doesn't have proper and complete and comprehensive ma'rifah about the Imam. And that person doesn't know the Imam properly to be able to introduce the Imam properly. You know? So we have to refer to the one who is at the level of the Imamah and above to gain ma'rifah about the Imam. Who are they? Of course, infallible Imams, alayhimus salam, and Lady Zahra, salamullah alayha, and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, it's not possible for us to gain proper ma'rifah of A'imma except we refer to the infallibles and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Kitab Allah and Hadith. These are our main sources for Ma'rifatul Imam. But when we say Hadith, we have to know that Hadith is in different forms. Sometimes Hadith means the saying of infallibles, yes? So saying of infallible can be in different forms. Sometimes it is the same as this sentence. Man mata wa lam ya'rif imama zamanihi. We call this type of sentences hadith. So it's familiar for us. We all know that this is hadith. But there are some other forms as well. Like what? Dua kumail is some hadith. Dua Abu Hamza is hadith. Dua is one of the forms of hadith because it is the saying of some infallible, but it is in some special form. But if you refer to dua, you see the value of the dua. Dua is not the same as the sentences of others, poetries, I don't know, other people. No, dua is different, higher. Why? Because it is the sentence of, it is the passage of some infallible. It is also hadith, but in the form of dua. So, hadith comes in different ways. One of them is hadith. By that I mean the sentences that we already know them as hadith, but sometimes in the form of dua, sometimes in the form of ziyarah. Ziyarah also is taught by Ma'soom. Ziyarats that we recite in the shrines and other places, if you check the sentences before that, you see that, for example, Imam Hadi alayhi salam has taught us these sentences to be said if you want to address this Imam. So ziyarats also are the sayings of infallibles. All of these type of hadith should be taken in consideration when we say that we need ma'sumin to gain the knowledge and ma'rifah of imams. I don't mean that just look for some hadith with a start which starts with ma'rifatul imam. You know, sometimes we think that okay, we want to know the imam, let me check ma'rifatul imam, search in software, then I expect Imam Raza alayhi salam to say that, for example, for ma'rifatul imam, note that this. No, don't look for such hadith or sentences. No, there are some sentences as usual, but next to them there are du'as that we can gain lessons about Imam Shanasi, Ma'rifatul Imam, and there are some ziyarats. Which one, through all of them, from among all, which one is more direct about Ma'rifatul Imam? No. Yeah, ziyara was correct. Why? Because in ziyara, A'imma alayhimus salam were teaching us how to address the Imams, how to relate to the Imams. And it's why they shed light on the position of the Imam. They explained enough about the qualities of the Imams. So through ziyarats, we can gain Ma'rifatul Imam. Our source is this. Mainly this, and then du'as and hadith. But the problem is that we usually recite du'a and ziyarah for thawab, but not for knowledge. I mean, how many times, me myself, how many times, for example, I recited du'a kumail? Allah knows, maybe many times. How many times I understood what I was reciting or saying? How many times I tried to focus on Asma'ullah in Dua Kumail, and why this Sifa, why this Ism? Ziyarat Al Yasin. How many times Ziyarat Al Yasin? Many times. How many times I checked the meaning of this? Why do I mean when I say Imam Mahdi alayhi salam is Da'i Allah, Rabbani Ayateh, Tarjumana Wahy Allah, Taliya Kitab Allah, Bab Allah, Baqiyat Allah? How many times I checked the meaning? I don't know. Maybe still even not one single time. Now we have to refer to those texts again and to study them. Once one of our teachers said that in the shrine he met one of his teachers. My teacher said that he met his teacher. Mafatihul Janan was open before the teacher, and he was looking at that, but not the way that we recite du'as and other things. My teacher said that I asked my teacher that, what are you doing? He said that I'm studying Mafatih. And then he repeated again, I am studying Mafatih, not reciting Mafatih. And he explained that I'm looking into this dua, I'm looking at this dua to find some lessons, to check the meaning, to understand something from these sentences. So this is what we need. And this is some way that the more steps you put there, the more love you feel about Imams alayhimus salam, and the more energy and motivation you have for the continuation of that way. Why? Time is over. I just show you some slide, and then I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us to be able to continue one day or sometime these type of things. First of all, before I go to that, in order to prove that this layer is not enough to be saved from ignorant death, we have some narrations as well. One of them is this one from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. In this narration, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says that وَأَدْنَى مَعْرِفَةِ الْإِمَامِ this. Adna ma'rifat al-imam means what? The lowest possible level of ma'rifat al-imam. The minimum that someone can know and say that I have ma'rifat al-imam. Okay, so what is that lowest level which is considered as ma'rifat al-imam, and less than that is not ma'rifat al-imam? What is that? أنه عدل النبي, to know that Imam is like the Prophet of God, but he doesn't have darajat an-nabuwwah. And to know that the obedience to Imam is obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the obedience to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. The one has to know that in order to have the minimum level of ma'rifatul Imam. And then some other points. So, is it anything about the name of the Imam, parents of the Imams? So, according to this, if I know even the name and the parents, I cannot say that I know Imam. You know? Still, it is not ma'rifah which is meant in hadith. Ma'rifah starts from here. If I know that Imam's obedience is Allah's obedience, then I started to know Imam. This is what we have to work on. It is not something easy. Maybe many children of us even do not know that. So we are Shia, but maybe sometimes our children or our youth maybe do not know enough about these type of things. And if we don't work on them, then later, unfortunately, some time comes in which people say that these are exaggerations about Aimma alayhim salam. You are saying something which is not for human, because we are not keeping them alive in community. Then sometimes it is something strange for people to accept it. No, we have to work on them. Now, I wanted to share with you this. Why ma'rifah is this much important? This is very important for parents, for teachers, for muballighin, for others. This is very, very important. I request all of you to think about this. Why we have to know the Imam? Man mata wa lam ya'rif imam zamanihi. Why? Or why in some du'as, the only thing that we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is ma'rifah. Allahumma arifni nafsak fa innaka lam tu'arrifni nafsak. This is dua for the time of ghaibah. At the end we say Allahumma arifni hujjatak fa innaka lam tu'arrifni hujjataka dalaltu an dini. Again the same as mitatan jahiliyak, mitata dalalin. This is also dalaltu an dini. Ziyarah Jama'ah, very long ziyarah. At the end you request Allah for 3 demands, for 3 things. 2 of them are about ma'rifah. أن تدخلني في جملة العارفين بهم وبحقهم. Give me ma'rifah about A'imma alayhimus salam and about the haqq of A'imma alayhimus salam. So you are asking Allah to give you ma'rifah. Why ma'rifah? Because this needs some clarification, but we don't have time. Because ma'rifah is the beginning for everything. If ma'rifah comes, then mahabba comes. When mahabba comes, then the person is ready to follow. With no mahabba, there is no free choice. Maybe it is forced, but we don't want people to be forced to do something, or it doesn't have any value. People should follow the path of God with their own free choice. So, how they prefer this when they love this? How they love this when they know the benefits of this, the value of this? With no ma'rifah, nothing happens. Now, just to sum up, now you see a different behavior and attitude towards Imam Hussein alayhi salam from Shia. Shia believe in 12 Imams, but the behavior of Shia about Imam Hussein alayhi salam is different from other Imams. Do you agree with me? Why? Because of this. They love Imam Hussein alayhi salam differently. They love Imam Hussein alayhi salam much more than other Aimma alayhimus salam. Why they love Imam Hussein alayhi salam more than others? Aren't they the same? You confess, you sometimes say some sentences when you recite some ziyarah, kullukum nurun wahid. Ziyarah Jama'ah, you check many sentences, we are saying that you, Ahlul Bayt, you are the same. But do we love them the same? No. Why not? They must be the same, but why not? Because I don't have same ma'rifah about all of them. I know something a bit, not enough, about Imam Hussein alayhi salam, so there is a great love of Imam Hussein alayhi salam in my heart. How much do I know about Imam Kazim alayhi salam? How much do I know about Imam Askari alayhi salam? How much, really? How much? Do I know like one page about Imam Askari alayhi salam? So if I don't know one page about Imam Askari alayhi salam, my love about Imam Askari alayhi salam is based on that much. So I cannot have the same behavior compared to the behavior compared to the behavior that I have for Imam Hussein alayhi salam. You know, I'm ready to sacrifice everything for Imam Hussein alayhi salam, but I don't name my children with the name of some other Imam alayhi salam. You know, naming is one of the signs. To put the names shows the love in the heart of the parents. Do you agree? So, do we have the name of Imam alayhi salam same in our children? No. Why? We should not hide. We cannot hide. Not should not. We cannot hide that love of Imam alayhi salam is not the same in our hearts. Why? Because of this. I want to love my Imam of the time very seriously. How should I solve this problem in my life? With knowing more about the Imam of the time. Otherwise, I cannot, I cannot just pretend to love Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. No, I have to have real love. Real love comes after ma'rifah. If I know, then I love. This is according to the creation of human being. All human, I'm not talking about Shia, I'm not talking about Muslims. All human beings, they love according to their ma'rifah. But which type of ma'rifah? Again, the type we mentioned. Name, parents' name, birth of someone, date, place. They don't give us love. But if I know perfection, please, perfections and beauties of someone, then that is something for me to love that person. On contrary, if I know imperfection, if I know something against the beauty about someone, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created me seeking perfection, I don't love that person. Rather, instead, I hate that person. The more I know, the more I feel. Feel what? It depends on the knowledge. It depends on the content of ma'rifah, the message of ma'rifah. The more I know about the perfection and beauty, the more I love. The more I know about imperfection and ugliness of something, the more I hate. So, for love, I have to work on this for myself, for my child, for my children, for my students, for my community, for everything around us. We have to start from this ma'rifah, but give him the ma'rifah about the perfection and beauty. This is very important. I went to one of the mosques. As soon as I entered the mosque, one teenager rushed to me. Assalamu alaikum ajaga. Can I ask you a question? I said, if I know answer, I'm at your service. He said that there is some competition here. I answered all of the questions, but one. Can you help me? I said, what is that question? He said, what's the name of the auntie of Prophet Musa? What's the name of auntie of Prophet Musa? So, we have good intention. We want to encourage youth to go and study and to learn more about religions, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, everything. But is it the way? Encourage them to know the name of the auntie. Then what happens after that in the life of this one? I don't know even Prophet Musa had auntie or not. I told that person I don't know anything about the auntie, but I believe that even if Prophet Musa, I told him that I believe that even if Prophet Musa himself didn't know the name of the auntie, nothing happened, let alone we at this age and this year. So this is not the question to encourage people to go for. Sometimes you want to give information about Imam Mahdi alayhi salam in order to increase the knowledge and ma'rifah of people. But we have to be careful which type of question, which type of ma'rifah. This is very important. Sorry, I prolonged the discussion. I made you tired. I ask for forgiveness. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us to increase our ma'rifah properly and to have better and stronger love about Imam Mahdi alayhi salam and to act better about the dear Imam of the time. ببركة of salawat ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.